Hello, folks. My name is Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Well, a lot of things certainly have changed since I was a little boy. Yeah, not only that, but when I was actually a full grown teenager. Yeah, things have been changing rapidly and dramatically in certain ways in areas and categories, such as in the case with pop bottles. Like the original pop bottles were made out of glass. Yeah, people. Like people don't comprehend that aren't from my era. They could never imagine that they actually put pop in glass in which you could drop and break. They can't, but I remember those days that they were putting pop in glass, so you had to be very careful, like holding it and taking it home, because once you drop it, that's it. Like the pop is gone because the glass isn't built to hold up against the rigorous pressures of the ground and concrete. So it was a lot of people mad that dropped their pops back in the day because they didn't make it home in time. Like they pops might have been fresh and cold right out the cooler, and they can taste it, because they know what it tastes like, whatever kind of pop they got. It might be grape, orange, cola, red, fruit punch, but they can know how it tastes. And then somehow they might get an itch somewhere, and then they just suddenly drop the bottle and lose it. Boom! All over the floor because the bottle was made out of glass. Well, that happened too many times, and it wasn't accommodating the people's needs because they would have to take the stuff back to the store and like say, look, my pop dropped. Can I exchange it for another one? Look, it broke. You didn't put it in a strong enough bottle, man. It must have had a crack in it because it fell apart when I was walking home. But you're not going to say you dropped it necessarily because you want to exchange it for another one. Well, when merchants had to do that too many times, they were like, it's costing them too much money, so they're going to petition to the pop companies to start putting the stuff in plastics so that when it drops, it doesn't break. So that droppage doesn't affect anybody in any way, unless you pick the pop up and open it then and it squirts everywhere. Because if you drop the pop, you got to set it up and let it settle for a while. You can't just open it up or it's going to fizz all over the place like champagne does. Yeah. So, there was a revolution that went on where people were dropping too much of their pops and it was breaking in that glass. And the glass made it heavier, but it didn't really add any type of protection to it because if you drop, it breaks. So why make the stuff and put it inside a glass? Doesn't make any sense. So when they switched to plastic, it removed all those issues and complaints about that. So one might say, why didn't they do that in the first place? Because eventually it has to catch on and register in their mindsets. Or they wasn't thinking or caring about accommodating the people's needs that way. There's ways to explain it. Well, so obviously changes like that are made for improvement's sake to accommodate people better, in such cases with food and drink products. But you see the drastic changes over the years because look how many years it took me to grow up before the pop went from being placed in glass bottles to being placed in plastic containments. Yeah. It took years for that to happen, and it was progress, but you had to learn from it, the whole process, and then it had to change overall, and then you had to also recognize that type of change. It's incredible, people. And then that makes you think about other things too, and there are too many to think about, and that's wonderful. If you break it down and analyze the situation like that regarding those different pop bottles, yeah, folks, think. Well, folks, I'd appreciate it if you would give me those likes, comments, and please subscribe to my channel, Detroit Miracle. Peace.